What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out podcast, episode 368. It's a solo one today, just me by myself, but I'm still here to give you my thoughts on the news and all the stuff that's been going on in this whole pop culture world and any other sort of stuff happening in the world, and just giving little updates and whatnot. That's what us brothers do, Normally it's me and Kibbs or me and Ash, and we just give our thoughts, we geek out, we stay connected, and geek out about stuff we love, basically. But it is a solo one today. I'm doing it by myself. The brothers are busy. Kibler's busy. He's been quite busy himself, but busy working, keeping himself proactively busy. Today, he got the opportunity to go watch the premiere or screening of Blue Beetle, which is exciting. I would love to get his thoughts. He can't give a review, I'm sure, until a certain period of time or whatnot, but I would love to get his initial thoughts on it. This is the start of the DC universe, so pretty exciting. And then Ash was putting the little one to sleep, and he ended up falling asleep as well. So I just left him to it, let him sleep, let him rest. He does wake up early to go gym. He's supposed to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. It's about 10 now, so it's a good time for him to be asleep so he can wake up on time at 4 a.m. or just get a good enough sleep. He wakes up on time anyway. He sleeps around 12 and wakes up around 4 or 5 anyway, so it's good, but he does need to get his sleep. But it's great discipline. He's been doing it for a year, just training. I did it for about 8 years, and it messed up I loved it. And to be honest with you, if in Dubai, the gym had the classes I wanted to do, I probably would have done the same. Still woke up early because I do love the lifestyle of it. I do love the discipline of it. To be fair, I got to work while I'm in London anyway. I am waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. anyway to get onto work. But I love to wake up early and work out, pray, work out, meditate, whatever, and just rest, not get straight into work. It's a bit more difficult waking up, just washing up, praying, and then get straight into work. That the mind is still a bit foggy. So I don't really like that lifestyle. I prefer to wake up, work out, pray, work out, all that sort of stuff, kind of get the mind flowing a bit, get the juices going, and then get into work. But as I'm in London, I do need to catch up with Asia and whatnot, so I just got this schedule and whatnot. But yeah, Ashraf is still doing his thing, which is good on him, just keeping it disciplined and everything. But yeah, no, other than that, this week, it's been a good week, since the last time we caught up. Just family time, We were supposed to initially leave on Wednesday, coming up on the 26th, but we extended our stay to the 6th of August. I'm so glad we did. So an extra 2 weeks here to enjoy with the family, enjoying with the loved one, the kids, and all that stuff. It's just amazing. And just get an opportunity to see friends. I've been seeing friends that I haven't seen in a long time. Met a friend the other day who I've seen in over maybe 10 years, maybe longer. Going to see some old school friends tomorrow. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing seeing family and stuff like that. So enjoying the time while I'm here. Trying to think, has anything else exciting happened while I was here? What we're doing? Going to watch Oppenheimer on Wednesday with my brother, with Kibbs, Jakub, you might know, and then my dad, which would be awesome. Looking forward to seeing that movie. Cinema with Pops is always special because he kind of introduced us to movies. Obviously, he took us to our first movie, which I want to say was either Jungle Book, the original cartoon, or there's an animation called Ferngully. I don't know if you remember that. Those two come to mind. I feel like it was Jungle Book first and then Ferngully, but Dad took us to those. So there's good memories with cinema and going with Dad. So I'm looking forward to it. But I heard Oppenheimer's got some dirty scenes, some Badusi scenes, as we call it. And that's going to be awkward to Dad. So it's going to be one of those, like, that moments in the cinema. So it's gonna be interesting trying to set up our mate Jakub so he sits next to Dad, so he feels more awkward while those scenes happen. But looking forward to seeing that movie. And then maybe with the boys, we can go catch. I do want to watch Barbie. Actually, I'm interested, and that's smashing it all over. Apparently, that's killing it in the box office. I read it's already made more than The Flash, which we've spoken about in every single episode on how that movie just got boycotted, and everyone just wants to say the same thing. Oh, the animation was bad and this was bad. The movie was boycotted. I don't care. simple because of certain reasons. Anyway, doesn't matter. I do want to watch Barbie. I'm interested. People, I've been reading other stuff. I don't know. I got to watch it for myself. That it's like a very, very woke movie. Okay, cool. I'll check it out anyway. It's interesting, like the target audience for Barbie dolls back in the days was what, like little girls, and now this movie, I think the target audience is everyone, like what, adults more than anything. And I see men going and all these dudes, everyone wearing pink and girls wearing pink going to watch the movie. I'm like, all right, well, smashed it. Good for you, man. It's crazy that they bring out this movie and it's just smashing it. So good for them. Oppenheimer's also doing well as well. So look forward to catching those movies. Other than that, just trying to stay disciplined myself with a little bit of workout. My diet's out the window. I'm gonna be honest with you, just because I'm on holiday and whatnot. I am fasting. Fasting is such an easy thing to do. So I do fast for at least minimum 12 up to 16 hours a day, which is the easy one. But what I'm eating is not really the healthiest, just because I'm enjoying food while I'm home. Once I get into Dubai, I'll get back into it. But on that, actually, I did want to bring up something because there was a comment on last week's podcast that I wanted to address. And shout outs to Y2K Illustrations, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your support. Always watching. So shout outs to you, bro. You left a comment, an interesting comment. We were talking about discipline last week, and how important discipline is in life, right? We talk about it, but obviously we're inspired by many people. Like loads of things people growing up with. It's all about discipline. I mean, they've been talking about from years, from Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, and even in hip hop tunes, you had Dead Prez. They got a tune called Discipline. Jacko Wilkins talks about discipline. Everyone talks about discipline. That's the word, and it's about being disciplined with life, and that will make everything good. Basically, that'll make your life, your day, your routine in like, it will put it in perspective. Put it that way. Make a day productive. Make sure you do what you need to do throughout the day. Not just working out, but just everything that you need to do during the day, rather than just sitting at home and doing nothing, or laying in bed in the morning when you should be up. One of the best disciplines is waking up early. That's why I praise Ash for doing it for over a year. Even when I was doing it, I loved it. I loved the feeling of just being disciplined and waking up at 5 a.m. and it's still dark outside, and you're out there heading to the gym or you're working out, doing yoga, whatever it is, and you know that everyone else is fast asleep, and you're going out there to accomplish your first goal for the day while everyone's just fast asleep and whatnot. It just felt great. That discipline felt amazing. It just took a toll on my body and my mind, my mental health, just because I couldn't sleep. The pressures of waking up that early just fucked up my head, really fucked me up, put me in a depression mode because I just wasn't getting any sleep. But I'd done that for 8 years, and then I just had to realize that I just can't do it no more. And again, being in this Dubai is a blessing. I mean, there's no excuse. I can still wake up at 5 a.m. and go training and whatnot. But I always used to love doing my martial arts and whatnot, be it kickboxing, jiu-jitsu or whatever. But because the gym in Dubai doesn't have like jiu-jitsu or MMA or whatever in the morning, and it's mostly evening classes, I was like, you know what, let me skip to a evening routine of training, and I could have my mornings to kind of sleep in. And my sleep's got a bit better, as you might have heard in the past of talking about, a bit better. I would say at least 60% better, which is great, especially for my mental, as I was going nuts. But anyway, on the point, bro, the question you asked, sorry, was your discipline with your training, your discipline with your sleep and everything, but it's difficult to be disciplined with diet, especially living in a Southeast Asian household. But from my opinion, right, I think diet is the hardest thing. I think without a doubt it's the hardest thing. Like everyone loves to work out, or not everyone really, but a lot of people like to work out. People love to sleep, but diet is the most important thing, because it's literally, you know that quote, you are what you eat and whatnot. I mean, it almost is that quote. If you eat healthy, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, fresh meats, you're gonna feel good. And if you're gonna eat shit like sugar and carbs and bread and processed foods, and you're gonna feel like shit, you're gonna look like shit. You know what I mean? So it is. But look, I believe diet's the hardest thing, even for me. It's just that's like 5 or 10 minutes of mouth pleasure that just feels so good going in. It's hard to beat You know, of course, especially when you've been dieting all day, or you've been fasting all day, or you've been dieting all week and you can't wait to get to the weekend because you just want to have a juicy cheeseburger or something. It's difficult. And living in a Southeast Asian household, yes, that's hard as well, because rice and curry, and mom cooks up some good food with a lot of ghee and all that sort of stuff. That's hard to it's hard to just not eat. But you got to be disciplined with it. What I suggest is start slow. Don't go cold turkey, because it's never going to work out. You could be like, yeah, I'm going to be clean diet from now on, but you will break. You will break. It's almost like a drug. I feel like sugar is a drug. I mean, there's been scientific things saying that it activates the same parts of your brain as cocaine does. So it's almost like a drug anyway. But slowly cutting down things, man. Like pick, be it starting from 1 day a week or starting from little meals. Think about how much. First of all, thinking about some of the stuff that you can sacrifice in a day, right? Like sugar, putting sugar in your tea, or replacing it with, some keto keto-friendly sugar, like monk fruit sugar, or, what's the one I'm drinking now? Gone blank, but there's coconut sugar you can also use. There's, goddamn, I've got one right downstairs and I completely gone blank. It's stevia, bloody hell. So think about replacements. They're more expensive, but they're keto friendly. They're natural sugars and whatnot. So think about stevia as a plant based, monk fruit sugar as a fruit base, but they're keto friendly. You can think about that, or just don't put sugar in any of your cereal and tea if you are doing it, right? If you're already not having sugar, great, perfect. Think about what in your meal that you can cut off in a day. Think about if you're snacking. Can you not snack and save that to the weekend, or not snack for 2 days if you're snacking on little things? Or if you're having a glass of Coke or whatever, stop that during the week, or stop that for a couple of days during the week. Like I said, take it easy, take it slow. With the food that mom makes, yes, I know that's difficult, very difficult. When I first stopped eating rice, I mean, I eat a little bit here and there now, but when I first started trying to clean up my diet, and I was telling mom, now I can't be eating like all this rice and all that sort of stuff, she thought the devil got me. In our culture, rice is everything. So it's difficult. But just think about eating the vegetables and the meats and whatnot. Yeah, they might have a lot of ghee. See, thing is, with my parents, mum started, just because dad had diabetes and whatnot, she doesn't use as much oil and ghee as regular people would. And just so people out there listening, Indian food at home is very different to the Indian food in restaurants, right? If you're living in the UK, you should notice that most of those Indian restaurants out there, I don't know the number, but I'm making it up, maybe like 95% plus, are all Bengali owned anyway, right? They're Indian food, but it's Bengali owned, trust me. And then the meals that they make there is just full of ghee and butter and shit, because you're in a restaurant, you're supposed to enjoy the food, it's supposed to be tasty, they want to make it very tasty and whatnot for the audience. That's the whole point of it. But food at home, mom's home cooked food doesn't have as much ghee and whatnot. However, think about just eating the vegetables or just eating the meat. If you want to wash off the meat, you could do that. It's not easy. It's not easy, and don't think about trying to put sauce on it, and it's tough. But think about doing that once a day, like starting off with once a day. If you're doing it every day, like I said, you're going to go cold turkey, it's going to be hard. Think about doing it once a day, one meal, whatever. Start slow and then work your way. And if this, like I said, pick one day, and if you're eating bread during that day or biscuit or whatever, just like, nah, not today. Today is my clean day. So just start off slow. Start off like that. Once, I tell you the easiest thing for me, but this does cost money. Time, I get meal plans, man. In Dubai, I use a meal plan. I've done it in Singapore as well. There's loads of them online. I'm sure they do it in the UK as well. There's a few in the UK for sure. But what you could do is like have them. They give you ready cooked meals, and you can pick, keto or vegetarian or vegan or what do you call it? Meat only, carnivore, whatever. Like you could pick the diet that you want to go on, right? And then they give you the food. They give you the food. They send you the meal every day, or they send you food throughout the week, or whatever. You put it in the fridge, you warm up and eat it, whatever it is, right? And it should tell you the calories and the proteins and the carbs. All that those are good. They're gonna cost you money. So if you don't have the money and you got mom's food, all right. think about what you could do with mom's food. Like I said, just eat off. Pick, like I said, pick a day or two, just wash off the gears and all that sort of stuff and just eat the meat and vegetables. It's bland, it can be, I know, but it's just being disciplined. And then try and work your way up to at least, 4 or 5 days a week. By the 7 days in a week, ideally you want more days clean than none, right? Non-clean. I mean, if you could be disciplined through all 7 days, go for it. Even for me, that's very difficult. I just love a cheat day. I love a cheat meal. I love my milkshakes and all that sort of stuff. I can't deny it. So I love that sort of stuff. That's why it's important for me to be as clean as possible, because I know at the end of that week, I know I'm going to break and I'm going to want to get a cheeseburger or something. It's hard. Try other diets, try things, like experiment with things. I mean, like, we don't have the luxuries of, going out there and testing our blood or maybe getting a dietitian, all that sort of stuff, because finances and whatnot. But there's loads of resources on YouTube and all that sort of stuff. Research it, see what works for you. Some people what works for me is keto diet and fasting. Fasting, I would say, is the easiest one. If you're Muslim, then you're used to it during Ramadan anyway. If you're not, loads of people are doing it who are non-Muslim anyway. George St. Pierre's doing it. He's big on fasting now. Rampage Jackson, I heard, is doing it. I mean, I'm referencing MMA fighters just because that's the sport I like and watch and whatnot. They're all doing it. Fasting is one of I think one of the easiest diets to do, because you just don't eat. I know it sounds tough. You just don't eat. You just skip the meal. So you're not putting shit in your mouth. You're not putting poison in your mouth. You're just not eating at all. Now, don't do it for long periods of time. Work your way up. Do a 12-hour fast, then try 16-hour fast and work your way up and whatnot. So yeah, try that. I think fasting's the easiest, honestly. And then after, when you break your fast, yes, you should eat clean still. It's not easy, especially because you've been fasting all day. Trust me, you want to have some good food and whatnot, some tasty food. But again, pick a day where you're like, all right, this is my day, and do it once a week. And then slowly build on that twice a week, 3 times a week, maybe once every other day. If you can get disciplined to do it 4 to 5 days a week, perfect. You know what I mean? And if you could do it 7 days a week, perfect. But discipline of food, I think, is one of the main and hardest things to be disciplined on, because food pleasure is so good, it's so available to us as well. So I don't know if that helps. Try it, man. Try one day. Just give yourself a goal. One day, I'm gonna eat 100% clean. Trying to eat no carbs, trying to do sugar, fast for the day, whatever it is. Pick something and just say, I'm gonna do that for one day. Like I say, work on it slowly. Don't jump straight into it, because that's hard. But yeah, man, hopefully that helps. Try it out. Let me know how it goes, man. If you want to talk, I know we're on Instagram or whatnot. I could try and give you more advice. I could direct you to other people who I listen to. I listen to the Rogan podcast religiously. Like, it's the main podcast I listen to, and he's always got scientists and dietitians and MMA fighters and whoever on there, and they're always talking about what they do in regards to diets and what's best for health for them and all that sort of stuff. I listen to them and I try them. I fast all day. And I train once or twice a day in Dubai, depending how it is. And I got the energy you have the energy. People got the energy to do it. People think like if you don't eat, then you can't do anything. That's not true. Your body can run off ketones. Our ancestors, those hunter-gatherers, they went days without eating. Again, it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind frame. You could do it. And even if you're not fasting, then just think about other resources, like I say, carnivore diet or vegan diet or whatever it is. Try them and see what works best for you. That's what I would say. And if you're rich and you got the money and you got the resources, and get blood work done, man, hire a dietitian or nutritionist or whatever it is. But if you're not, check it up on YouTube. Try stuff. Just try stuff. Or end of the day, the best diet is, we all know shitty food is bad for you, right? We all know that anyway, right? The processed foods, the sugary foods, the bread and the pasta and all that sort of stuff. We know that stuff ain't good for you, right? So just cut that stuff out and start from there. Not easier said than done, but it's definitely worth a try. Again, try one a day, once a week, for a month. See how it goes. See how that one day a week goes. And when that day, and then if you get used to it, try 2 a days, 3 a days. You got to do it to see some kind of results. Don't expect to do it one day and see results. You've got to do it. You've got to be committed to it, just like anything in life. Got to be committed to it. You've got to be disciplined to it, and eventually you'll see some results. And again, it's healthy for you. Like the results in the physique, okay, cool, that's cool. But inside, man, you want to prevent disease. This goes to everyone. Like I do this shit because I listen to friends and my family and whatnot. And you're like, man, I just want to prevent disease. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, find out, God forbid, I got something, some kind of disease that I could have prevented because of like the shitty food I was eating. So, all of this is about preventing any sort of disease and whatnot. So it's all about health, man. I want to go up to be old, I don't want to be, I'm not going to be, I could go anytime, God's will, right? But while I'm alive, I want to be healthy, I do talk about injuries and shit. Okay, physical injuries happen, but just internally, I want to be healthy. Anyway, let's get into the news, man. Let's get into the news. I could give you guys a quick update. Since it's me solo, I don't have anyone to go back and forth with, but I'll give you my quick update on what I found during the week. First of all, and I'm going to bring this one up every week until I at least watch it, is Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom, right? I still haven't had a chance to get my hands on it. I want to watch it. I'm not going to stop until I do watch it. Again, it's being boycotted and by mainstream media, by Hollywood. I've been seeing some extra stuff come out on it, like some crazy conspiracy shit where people are saying that they went to book the tickets in the cinema and then the website said the whole screen is full, and then when they go in there, there's like 5-6 people in it. Like it's crazy. Like some people are saying that when they've gone in the cinema, they said, oh, the aircon's not working, or the lights are not working, whatever it is. It's weird that I'm seeing these things. I mean, whether they're true or not, I'm not sure. But I've seen some stuff from, what's his name? Per David, I can't remember his name. One of the podcasts that's out there anyway, they were talking about it, and they were talking about how the mainstream media are talking about it, saying there's some sort of QAnon freaking conspiracy theory stuff. I mean, it's crazy how this movie turned political, but it just goes to show that if this is making certain mainstream medias or certain sides saying that it's some kind of conspiracy, then it's got to be exposing some shit, or some people, some industry, or some organizations, or whatever the fuck it is. It's exposing something. And again, I haven't seen it, but from what I've read and seen, little clips or whatever, they could be all clickbait bullshit. But Hollywood's being exposed by this, by what do you call it? Trafficking, human trafficking. Just industries and whatnot. I heard Oprah's name was in there being exposed. I don't know, man, but I need to get hands on this movie, and I'm going to bring it up. It's going to be on the list every week, just for awareness and until we watch it at least. And even if it is some fucking kind of conspiracy, the fact of the matter is this is a real thing anyway. Like human trafficking is a real thing. Like children human trafficking is a real thing. And I got my numbers wrong. I mean, I don't know the numbers anyway, but I heard that it's like $150 billion industry. It's fucking disgusting, man. I mean, we got a common enemy here. This is what I don't understand about us humans, man. It's something real crazy. Like we're quick to kill each other over fucking politics and different races and religions and land and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's horrible. It's all fucking horrible and whatever, but we have a common enemy when children are being trafficked. Human babies, man, are being trafficked. It's disgusting. And we can't even just once be at peace and say, you know what? Fuck it. For the next 5 years, we're all at peace and we're going to put all our money, billions of dollars, and all our soldiers, they're all going to work together to fucking crack down one of the most horrific things that's happening on the planet, which is human trafficking, and the children specifically as well. I just don't get humans, man. We're fucked in the head, man. I really don't get it. I mean, not all of us. When I say that, I'm not just saying. It's just such a weird thing where this is a common thing that we could all unite together with and try and stop. But that's never the case because it's always political. It's always business. It's always power. It's all that sort of shit. But crazy. We're gonna get hold of this movie. We are gonna watch it. Trust me. I know. I'm not gonna let it go till we watch it, and it's got to be about awareness as well and spreading that awareness of what's happening, and I'd love to know what's happening in the industry, and they need to be exposed as well. Fuck it. So, Sound of Freedom. All right, cool. Next on the list was Jamie Foxx. I saw a video, a first video of him speaking after, he was I don't know what it was actually. I don't know what he was diagnosed with, but he was just very, very ill, and he was on. I guess he was on death's door, as the way he was talking, and he was saying his loved one, his family, sister, whatnot, they saved him, by looking after him or whatnot, and they respected the fact that not making anything public. He did mention that because it was so quiet, there was all these rumors out there and whatnot. I still don't really know what happened, but anyway, he sent the message, and he's just saying, I didn't want people to see me and a fucked up situation with pipes all going through me. I just want people to see me cracking my jokes and smiling and all that sort of stuff. So, prayers out to Jamie Foxx, man. It's good to see you in good health. And I hope wishing you a speedy recovery, getting back into full pace on what you're doing, get back into your movies, your comedy, your music, whatever you're doing. It'd be awesome to see him back. I'm glad he's doing okay. What else is going on? There was San Diego Comic-Con this week. I don't know much about what happened there, because normally you get all the trailers, you get all Disney and Netflix and all that sort of shit, right, doing their stuff, but none of them were there this year, right? And I did hear quotes, a lot of people saying, well, good, because this really brings Comic-Con back to the source, which is comics. I even think I read Jim Lee saying something like that. It's great that Comic-Con is back to its source, which is about the comics. So yeah, well, which is pretty cool. I did see a few things. There was some what do you call it, Marvel X-Men trainers being released, or new sneakers and whatnot by, I think it was Asics or what they called. So that's pretty cool. A lot of figures and stuff that were new releases and whatnot. I bring up Hottoys. I put them on the list because I wanted to custom again. My bad. Look, I'm sorry, but I reason why I custom is like I was there when I was in Hong Kong at Secret Base every fucking week, buying 2 to 3, 4 Hottoys and whatnot. I was just such a big fan, big support, and I just remember they just there was no loyalty as a customer, and that was my first thing. I keep saying it, and always pisses me off. Like you can see, because I was registered with you lot, there was no loyalty as a customer. No loyalty programs or nothing. And then secondly, you say that your Hottoys are exclusive. No, they're not. You just keep making them. I mean, they just released another Iron Man from Avengers, another Dark Knight Joker, where this one actually annoyed me. His hair is what do you call it, man? What do you call the word? Ashraf knows the word. It's his hair is wavy. His hair. It's not fucking plastic. I don't know how to say the word. Ashraf says the correct word into it, but that annoys me. That annoys me, man, because I'm not gonna buy that one just because there's new features in it. The facial sculpture does look good. I'm like, why don't you sell that separately and say, hey, this fits the previous ones you got, so you can take this head sculpture. Why don't you do that sort of stuff? But no, they want to buy the whole figure again. That's why I gave up with Hottoys and I sold all my Hottoys. I'm like, you're not exclusive. You just bring out the same shit and just change things. So but Hottoys did bring out a few figures and whatnot, but same shit. Another Spider-Man, some Venom suit, same shit. Some of them are just basic qualities, and some of them are just saying the same shit, just changing little things and expect everyone to buy it again. They're not exclusive, and that's my bone to pick with Hottoys. My bad. I'm sorry. I still got my Punisher ones, which I'll keep. I got my Bruce Lee ones. I will keep. And I got my Joker one. I will keep. Everything else, all the other ones I had, the Endgame ones, all that stuff, out. Don't need them anymore. Anyway, that was my little rant on Hottoys. Sorry. Cool. This week, some Marvel news. We'll get some Marvel stuff first. The Marvels trailer came out. The official trailer came out. I believe the first one was a teaser. That came out this week. Check out the channel. We had a little reaction on it as well. It looks cool. I mean, I don't know what to expect from Marvel movies anymore. I'm still a fan for life. I love them. I'm going to keep on watching them. I don't know where this takes us in the timeline, in the story timeline or whatnot, especially this multiverse saga. But I'm gonna have to just treat this as a separate movie, which connects the three Marvels together, right? Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, which we've all been introduced in different shows and movies and everything. It's gonna be fun to see them together. And you saw in the trailer that the bangle that Kamala Khan had, the other one had the other lady, the Kree lady or whatever, had the hammer as well. I can't remember the names. Ronan was one from Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks like there's a female version of Ronan anyway, in this movie, and their powers switch and make them teleport or whatever. It looks fun. I mean, look, Kamala Khan's gonna definitely be the how do you pull it, the comedic and I guess entertaining sort of, not entertaining, what's the word I'm looking for, that light-hearted sort of part of the movie because of her and who she is and whatnot and her characteristics. But yeah, and look, I don't know what's gonna happen, where this takes us from Secret Invasion, because Secret Invasion is a great fucking show, which we'll talk about in a second. But that is one of the best Disney Plus shows in a while, in a long time. They do Nick Fury justice. They do the show. The show is just fucking awesome. So I don't know if this is after Secret Invasion or before Secret Invasion. It seems like it's before because Nick Fury looks younger. But we'll see where it connects, and I'm just looking forward to it. And like I said, I don't know what to expect from the Marvel movies anymore. I don't know. Maybe they should have taken a break. I don't know. From the whole, like before they got us into a new saga, maybe they sort of started again. I don't know. Like just the fact that it's all supposed to continue and they gone into this multiverse saga and things haven't been as great as it could have from my perspective. I'm just kind of like, yeah, listen, I'm always in for the ride. No matter what show or movie you make, I'm always in for the ride. I'm not as excited as I once was when the Marvel movies come out, when we were heading up to Endgames. Oh my god, man! Whatever movie came out, the trailer, the movie, I'm just so excited. But now, I'm not excited, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. So anyway, that's the Marvels. We'll see what happens with that. Comes out end of this year. I think it was October, November or something. Let's see how it goes. Should be fun. Should be great. Moving on to Secret Invasion, episode 5. Another emotional, great freaking episode. I think, again, we'll really get to know Sam Jackson's character, Nick Fury, in this. He's doing a great performance. It's such a great performance that he's putting on in this show. It's just, I think you forget how good Sam Jackson is. I think some people might forget how good he is because you've seen him in the Pulp Fictions and the Shaft movies and Snakes on a Plane and motherfucker this and motherfucker that, but you forget that he was in some deep movies like Nick of Time and stuff like that, right? Just fucking, he's a great actor, and we forget he can play that emotional PTSD type of like that role, like that someone's going through some shit. That's what Nick Fury's going through as well. But I'm trying to think about this episode. What happened in this episode, man? I watched it last week, right? I think by the end of it, he's gearing up. He puts an eye patch on, puts his trench coat on, so he's looking to fuck shit up. The main Skrull leader is looking for the DNA of the Avengers. I can't remember the exact name of it, but he's trying to get hold of that DNA, so he could because he's making super Skrulls, basically. So he had the DNA of Groot and from Iron Man 3, them things that used to blow up and whatnot. So he's taking different DNAs, pulling it into the Skrulls to make super Skrulls. He's trying to get hold of the Avengers DNA so he can put that in himself and whatnot. They did reference the fact that where, someone asked him, I can't remember if it was that woman, asked Nick Fury, why don't you get your super friends involved? And he was like, just some shit I need to handle myself. Which I guess he has to. Maybe he's taking responsibility because he was the one, in the first Captain Marvel that communicated with the Skrulls and was trying to find them a home. And that home ended up being Earth, which I don't think he planned. Obviously, that he shows through the show that wasn't his ideal plan, but they all came in, and I guess he's just taking responsibility for that. So he feels like he has to handle this. Also, the main guy, which I keep forgetting his name, which is basic, but I think he's taking responsibility for him too, because he tried to help him, but he got radicalized and he just saw how human beings treated them and all this sort of stuff. It's a deep fucking program. Really enjoying it. I don't think anyone's watching it because I feel like because of the Marvel shows and whatnot haven't been as great. I guess the last one was She-Hulk, right? You're following She-Hulk, which was pants. Like it's hard. It's a hard one to follow, and keep the interest of people. So I think that's why people are not watching it as much. I don't know if it's fatigue, because if you just concentrated on the storytelling and just great character building and stuff, I don't think you'd have this problem. But because like She-Hulk was just not, I'm not blaming just She-Hulk. I always go to She-Hulk. I'm just saying, just in general, it's just not have been that great. People are like, well, I'm not going to watch Nick Fury. The casuals are like, I'm not going to watch Nick Fury. It's a waste of my time or whatnot. The hardcore fans, us, we're going to watch it regardless. And we can come out the show saying, yeah, that was shit. Or we're going to come out saying it's great, but we're going to watch it because we're in for life. So, that's my perspective. I can't wait for episode 6 on Wednesday, which I think is the final episode, just to see how it ends and see where it takes us. But looking forward to that. All right, cool. Spiderverse digital release is going to be August 8th, which is in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, about 2 weeks' time. Looking forward to getting a good copy of that. I'm going to go home and watch that again properly, so I can't wait. I'm trying to avoid watching these movies on my flight on the way back, because I really want to just sit back at home and watch it. The missus hasn't seen it, so I'd love to sit back and watch it with her as well. That, The Flash, and those movies, I'm going to wait to get home. Lastly, on the Marvel or Disney front, Disney is reportedly to make a live-action Gargoyles movie with the director of Thor. And I'm wondering if, I'm pretty sure that's Taiti Wakiki. My bad, I fucked up your name. I can never pronounce your name. My bad. But Gargoyles was an old school cartoon or whatnot. I can't remember. I remember it visually, but I can't remember about it and whatnot and watching everything. But I mean, if it's Taiki, sorry, we know from Thor and some of the other movies he's made that it's very, kind of like comedy and silly and whatnot. I mean, he's made some great movies, man, like Rabbit. What's that movie called? The one about the Nazis, something Rabbit, Jojo Rabbit. Great movies which are, there's this heartfelt feeling to this movie, but just tells a great story and whatnot. But then you just went too silly with Thor Love and Thunder, like too silly. So maybe if he just thinks about, all right, let me just tone it down. Maybe he could work for these type of movies. I don't know. I mean, again, if you're a Gargoyles fan, I don't know if you're happy or sad that he might be directing it or where it goes or whatnot. But yeah, maybe make it fun and enjoyable, but then not too silly. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Anyway, on some DC stuff. So DC Comics shocks fans with an announcement of Justice League, Godzilla, and King Kong crossover at the event of the first day of San Diego Comic-Con. I think that's comic books and stuff like that, which is cool. I mean, Warner Brothers own them. Why not do the crossovers? I know Disney's doing it with Marvel and the Predator and Aliens and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy to see, the Justice League with Godzilla and King Kong crossovers. They got these big villains. I mean, King Kong and Godzilla are not really villains, really, are they? You know what I mean? They're kind of like heroes at the end of the day. So that'd be pretty cool. DC, there were some DC animated movies that were announced, The Watchmen and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth. So DC always do a great job with the animation, so they should be pretty good. I wonder if The Watchmen will be as gritty and grimy as the movies and whatnot in the show. Yeah, that's the end of the Marvel DC stuff. Nolan, just a quick quote from him saying that no more superhero movies for him, but he leaves Star Wars open. Now, Nolan doing a Star Wars movie would be pretty fucking awesome. Listen, I would love, like I think we said this last week, I would love for him to do a Marvel comic book movie, and I think he'll do a great job. I can't think of the best character for him, but there's a lot that he could do. Again, he's great. He loves time, right? And I'm sure there's a lot he could do with this multiverse stuff. But it's too late now. These movies are done. But I don't know. Maybe in the future, maybe it's something to do with the X-Men building up. I mean, he done a great job with the Dark Knight. great job, right? One of the best movies of all time, the Dark Knight trilogy, but the Dark Knight itself, like one of the greatest movies, not just comic book movies, but movies of all time. Imagine him doing, you know, taking on an X-Men character or something like that, just bringing that character to life, and giving us just a great story around it. I mean, that'd be amazing. But anyway, he said he's done with that. But what about Star Wars? I mean, he could give us a great Star Wars movie. Look, Star Wars movies. The shows have been all right. Mandalorian's been all right, and these shows have been pretty good. The movies, you know, a bit whatever. So maybe Nolan can come and pick it up. That'd be freaking awesome. I would I would not say no to that. All right. Biker. I can't even speak now. It's getting late. Biker Mice from Mars. I don't know if you remember that cartoon from the 80s. There were these, I don't remember, I remember it again visually, I just can't remember watching it, but there were these basically bikers where drive Harley Davidson's fucking what do you call it, man? Oh, I'm going blank with everything today, man. Anyway, bikers. Hell's Angels, that's fucking what I'm trying to think. Hell's Angel motherfuckers on their Harley Davidson, but they're mice and they're from Mars. And there was a cartoon around it in the 80s and whatnot. And Ryan Reynolds apparently is rebooting that and co-producing a movie, I believe. I don't know if it's a cartoon or a movie, but that should be interesting. Ryan Reynolds, maybe he was a fan when he was a kid and he was like, man, I would love to reboot it. Again, I can't remember. I remember visually, I know what it is. I just can't remember the story or any of that sort of stuff from the cartoon. But Ryan Reynolds is involved. Maybe he's a fan. Cool. All right. Moving on to the monster universe. So the producer of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein says that after project with Universal classic monster movies fell through, the director is still building his own monster universe, starring the Shape of Water as his creation of the Black Lagoon. So he looks to do a monster universe. I think they tried to do that before. What was that? Van Helsing? I don't know. That was some kind of monster universe, but I think they were trying to build like a whole monster universe with Frankenstein and mummies and fucking werewolves and vampires and all that shit, and build a universe. I mean, if you could, I mean, I don't know. It could work. Guillermo del Toro or whoever those guys are, man. I'm sure they could put something together. But again, putting these universes together is fun if you build up the characters properly, right? If you build up like an ultimate story to build up to. Just just putting these movies in, just I don't know, just making the universe for the sake of it, it's just I don't know, it could be a waste of time, man. So it's gotta have this big finale at the end, man. I feel like Endgame's done it work so good, like so good that it's not like Endgames was like not just 10 years of movies. That was like, wasn't even 10 years, it was longer, right? But whatever, not just 10 years of movie build up, but we're talking about years and years of comic build up. You know what I mean? Like, reading comics from of characters that came out in the 50s and 60s and whatever, from Iron Man to the Infinity War comics and all the characters involved. So it was a build up from all of that to end games, with these monster movies, they're classics going back from the older days, right? From I don't know the exact dates, but freaking 30s, 40s with vampires and all that sort of stuff. Like, man, it'd be awesome to build a universe. Just again, each individual, you can't rush it. Don't rush it. Build stories about these characters, which everyone knows, but you're gonna have to build character around it. We all know Frankenstein, and we all know werewolves and vampire stories and whatnot. I guess you're gonna have to build characters around them differently for us to be engaged, to be like, oh, I want to see that character interact with this character, and then eventually they're in some big freaking final movie together, and I don't know, fighting something or doing something which will make it interesting. Anyway. The boys, all right, so the boys Gen Z trailer came out. So I've done a trailer reaction, do check it out. Gen V, sorry, did I say Z? Gen V trailer came out, which is a spin-off series of The Boys. And check out the trailer reaction. It's coming out in September. The trailer looks awesome. I love what they're doing with the boys. I really think, like, if you see the trailer, it looks like they've got this whole X-Men Academy and whatnot type of thing. What I love about what they're doing with the boys, and what was always so sort of compelling about the show, what got me getting like into it, is like you can relate these characters all back to our superheroes who we love in the Marvel and DC universe, for Homelander, like Superman, and I can't remember the names, but Wonder Woman and all that sort of stuff, right? Captain America, they can be referenced, but in this whole real world political fucked up political state that we're in, and all this sort of stuff, and then just the blood and the gore in this movie, in these shows, it's just something captivating about it. So the boys have done a great job doing that. I feel like they, with this spin-off shows, if they relate them back, like, because this looks like the X-Men Academy in its own, in the boys universe and whatnot. If you build on these characters, I feel like they can do a lot of spin-offs with this reality of this superhero world that they're building in the boys, which I think could be awesome. There's a lot of potential. A lot of potential there, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm invested. I am invested in this franchise of the boys. So looking forward to it. And I can't wait. I can't wait for Boys season 4 to come out. And then lastly, finishing off with Invincible, another superhero thing that was announced, and the trailer came out for season 2, which I saw. It was more of introduction of like a cast list of loads of people in it, and J.K. Simmons and Seth Rogen and loads of other people. Sorry, I can't name everyone, but that was basically the trailer. So they didn't give much away. But that, again, that's another one that, I watched season 1. I watched episode 1 of season 1, and by the end of that episode, you're like, holy shit, like, what the fuck? That it just took a crazy turn and just got you in. And by the end of that show, you're just like, this is deep, with Omni-Man and the way he went on and whatnot with his son. It's like, this is mad. So I'm looking forward to season 2. They're looking to do it in 2 parts. First part starts in November, and then the second part in 2004. Like, I mean, 4 episodes each, which should be fun and great to watch. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Another interesting take on this whole superhero world. Another one on Amazon. So they got shit going on. And then you got Invincible video game announced. Yeah, so Invincible, the video game, has been announced by Ubisoft. So I don't know what type of game they're going to do, beat 'em up or free all, whether you call them free flow game or whatever they're called. But that should be interesting with the video game. I don't know, and I guess they can expand on the story and all that sort of stuff through the video game. But it should be cool. That should be cool. Other than that, that's all the news I had for the week. There was nothing else I watched. I mean, do check out Fight Talk. Me and Kay West constantly talking about fights on every week. Oh, excuse me. From the UFC and whatnot. Next week, we're looking to do it side by side. I'm going to go over to his house and watch big UFC cards, so that should be fun. Hopefully, get Ash back on the podcast next week. That'll be the last one I'll do in London before I head back to Dubai. Kibbs will be back on soon as he deals with what he's doing. Like I say, he's on the channel, so do check out his trailer reactions to things and just uploading things. So do check those out. He's active, he's working, he's behind the scenes and whatnot. He will be back on the podcast, so just keep an eye out on that. When I get to Dubai, I got to do a couple things. I do got to go to Speedy Comics. I do need to go to the Speedy Comics, and there's Comic Cave that I go to, that I want to do a podcast with those people there. So I should get back on it. Need to get more guests on. What else is going on? We'll talk about Oppenheimer after we watched it. We'll give a little review and spoiler review. Like, I guess you can't really spoil it, but just our thoughts on the movie after we've seen it. I still want to watch Indiana Jones. I haven't had a chance to watch that one yet. I do want to watch Barbie. If we watch these movies, we'll give you our thoughts. What else is going on? That's about it. I think that's about it. That I could think of. Yeah. Guys, like, thank you again for your support. We're almost hitting that 500 mark. It'll grow there organically. We're ahead of schedule, so we're gonna reach our goal for this year, but it'll grow organically, and that's the most important thing that we want. We don't want to force subscribers. We don't want to force clicks. None of that shit. It's gotta be organic. And through the passion of what we do, what we love to do, it's going to go naturally, and we're going to get these opportunities like what Kibler got today to go watch Blue Beetle before it's even it's out and whatnot. This is the beauty of doing what you love for the love, not for trying to get shit out of it, because that's when shit don't go right. So we're gonna get to our subscriber levels organically, and it's gonna grow there slowly. But the fact that we're ahead of schedule is it just goes to show that we've got a great bunch of people who like to listen to us, and we appreciate the support. Just keep subscribing and commenting and whatnot. Again, Y2K Illustrations, thank you for your comment and your question. And if anyone else has any questions or comments about anything that you want to get a perspective on, let us know. And if we don't know the answer, then we'll do the research and guide you to maybe where you should go get the answer from. But cool. On that note, I'll leave it up to it. Peace.